Hi everybody, so I'm going to do a comparison between the second generation and third generation Kindles. The third generation is the latest version, and I just received it a week ago, so I figured before I give away my old Kindle, I'll do a quick comparison to show you some of the differences that you can expect to see if you have an earlier version of the Kindle already. So first of all, the one that I have, 6-inch display, 3G with Wi-Fi, and this is kind of, I don't want to say the best model, but it definitely is worth the money to go up to the one with the 3G Wi-Fi because it allows you to purchase books anywhere within like 100 countries. So that's really convenient, and I think it's worth the extra money. This is $189, though if you buy the one that does not have the 3G Wi-Fi, it's like $139. So it's a little bit more to buy it with the 3G Wi-Fi, but I definitely think it's worth it. The first thing I want to talk about is that this is the third generation. It's the newest one. And the first difference between the older version and the newer version of the Kindle is the resolution. There's a better contrast. It's actually 50% better contrast on the new Kindle than it was on the old Kindle. And they have a new high contrast e-ink screen. So if you could see, it's the same picture on each, but as you can tell on the new Kindle, her hair is darker. You can see more shadowing on her face, and she just looks more clear. So you can definitely tell that it's 50% better contrast on the new Kindle, and that's really good on your eyes as well, because it gives you so much a cleaner view of the screen, and so your eyes aren't straining as much as they were on the old Kindle. So that's excellent. The next thing is the obvious difference is the size. So the difference in the size, it's obviously smaller. It only weighs 8.5 ounces and is only 1/3 of an inch thick, whereas this one is quite a bit larger. And also the new Kindle is 17% lighter and 21% smaller. So the reason why it's smaller is if you can look at the keypad, there's extra buttons on the second generation. They have a number row, a row full of numbers, and on here they took away all the numbers. So yeah, there's a difference. And then there's a lot of extra space around the outside, which they also reduced to make it smaller as well. The next thing is battery life. With this, without the 3G on, I would get maybe, I don't know, depending on how much I was reading, I would get up to maybe 2 weeks before I'd have to charge it. If I was reading every day, I'd maybe have to charge it every week. So that was not inconvenient for me because it charges really quickly, but you know, it's something to think about. With this, without the 3G on, you can get up to 1 month continuous use. So that's quite an improvement, especially if you're going on vacation and you don't want to pack your charger. That is very, very, very convenient. Then the next difference, they really improved the page turning buttons. I'm just going to show you the older one first. So as you can see here, there's only one previous button, and it's on the left side. So if you want to go back a page, you can only hit the left side button because this button over here is home and previous. The thing that they changed this time is that both of these side buttons are previous and both of these side buttons are next. So if you're left-handed or right-handed, you can access previous and next page buttons with one hand instead of having to use two hands, which is very, very nice. The next thing that they changed is if you can see the side buttons, they're positioned in a way where you have to press on the top and a flat surface. You have to press on it in order for it to actually turn the page. Whereas the new buttons, they're on the side. So you have side access. So you don't have to push your finger all the way on. You can just simply turn it from the side. So it's very, very easy to turn the pages, which I like because you can just hold it like this and simply click it. The sound itself, they improved on the sound of the buttons, so they're not as loud when you click them, which is also nice. Carrying on with the buttons, I think I'll go on with the obvious keyboard differences. So here you have 4 rows of buttons, and they're little round buttons, circular buttons. I actually really like this keyboard. I didn't have a problem with it at all. There was nothing I really had a problem with. The one thing that I didn't like, though, was the 5-way controller, because the button itself is so small and it doesn't stick out large enough that you have to use your nail to actually turn it to use the 5-way controller. And also, it was really difficult to actually press down in the middle. Sometimes if you press down in the middle and you weren't really paying attention, you could actually delete a book. So that was something I really didn't like. Whereas the new one, they took away the little button and they replaced it with an actual 5-way controller. So you have a button for each side and then a button in the middle, which makes it so much better. The one thing that I haven't figured out yet is, since they took away that row of numbers, I'm not sure how you get to the numbers, to write numbers. So you can actually register your Kindle on your Kindle. So you don't have to go online to actually register your Kindle through Amazon. So I was trying to do that, but my email address that you have to have in order to register your Kindle has numbers in it. So I wrote my email address and I went to go write the numbers, and there's no numbers there. So I haven't figured that out yet, but I'm sure there has to be a way to actually type in numbers, but I'm not seeing it. It's not on the keyboard, so I'll have to figure that out. The new thing also is that they allow you to highlight passages within the book and put them on Twitter and Facebook. So if you're sharing something, I think that'd be very useful if you're in like maybe a lecture, or if you're going to university and you need to share something with someone else in your class. That would be a really good way to do it, through Facebook or Twitter. Just put it out there. So that's kind of cool if you're into that thing. Also, they say that they have an improved PDF reader. And the next thing is kind of obvious as well. You have 2 choices of colors. You have the traditional white, or you can get the graphite. What I found with reading on the white Kindle is that it kind of strained your eyes, because all the words were dark and then you were surrounded by this really bright white case, and so your eyes it took a lot for your eyes to focus on the words. So it became kind of painful, especially with the amount of reading that I do. But with the new graphite, it actually reduces that by a lot. I would say probably about 50%, because you're surrounded by a dark case. The dark words on the page they jump out at you, but it kind of fools your senses and your eyes to actually see it better. So I actually very much recommend getting the graphite, because it's so much better on your eyes than being surrounded by a white case. It's really hard to explain, but if you've read on it, I think you'll understand what I'm talking about. Also, the new Kindle has double the storage capacity, so you can store twice as many books on the new Kindle than you could on the 2nd generation. And let's see, is that it? That looks like it's it. So I think the biggest things, just to recap, obviously the size, the color, the change in the keyboard and the change in the buttons, and definitely the contrast make this such an incredible buy. I absolutely love it. I think it's quite worth the investment, especially if you're someone like me who only read. So that's like my only form of entertainment. I don't watch TV and things like that. I just read. So for me, since I read so much, this is definitely something that will be used. And yeah, I will do a complete review on just this to kind of give you another overview like I did on the 2nd generation at Kindle when I got it. So be expecting that. But yes, I highly recommend the new Kindle if you can get your hands on it. I know right now there's also a waiting list, so wait your turn and get it, because it's definitely worth the $189 if you can afford it. So that's all for now. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.